Welcome to this podcast is Uncalled For.
What's uncalled for about it?
What we doing at Tijuana?
You met a girl, didn't you? I was like, oh, how did you know? He's like, oh, because it always happens. It always happens. It's the only stupid reason that you would ever drop the ROTC, because of a stupid girl.
And then look, thank you back home.
Oh, that's going to be great for the football charts.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I can think of 100 right off the top of my head.
Is paid a genre?
So it just, a lot happens behind the scene that people don't know about. Like, it's hard for the average voter to understand how much of what they think is their democracy is decided by faceless people to them. You know, you and I know who's making these decisions.
There you go. These are the kind of discussions we have. Fortunately, we're both fairly level-headed people. Again, we're looking at each other in the eye. We're not going to say anything derogatory to the other person. And, of course, neither of us is drunk.
Take me to Gay's barbecue.
That's a bit of a slap in the face and an insult.
But you didn't even give him a chance for a wild card spot.
And the look on Mike's face.
They love big boys like you.
It's kind of, what is that character from Guardians of the Galaxy who takes everything literally? The people are out there, like, they could have taken it literally.
Yeah, we're crazy people and we love what we do, and so we just keep creating regardless of how hard it can be sometimes.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on your podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
And remember, no you.
That is uncalled for, Michael.
And now, your host for this podcast, Mike Chernevsky.
I have a lot more on this tape. Here. Listen to this.
Well, the name of this podcast is Stuff Uncalled For? This podcast is uncalled. Podcast, all right.
And all y'all, subscribe and like and comment and subscribe.
Yeah.
I said it. Fuji.
Hi, everybody, welcome to the podcast. Today we're going to do a thoughts episode on lung cancer research. Now, just to get it out there, no one in my family has had lung cancer. I don't smoke, in part because my mother was asthmatic, and also the recognition that smoking is bad for you. But you don't have to be a smoker to get lung cancer. That's the scary thing about this, that anyone could get it. I felt this was a good episode to do because even though no one in my family has had it, I do know two people, both of whom I consider mentors in a way, who have had lung cancer, one of whom, of course, has died. Now, back in September, before the lung cancer walk, which I'll talk a little more about those in a little bit, I had a Zoom interview with Emma from the Lung Cancer Research Foundation. And it was recorded. I never received the recording. That's okay. I'll just talk here. So, the mentor I've lost to lung cancer, of course, is a guy who's been mentioned on the podcast plenty of times already, Dave Barry, who I think it was February or March 2019. No, 2018, excuse me, it's a full year before we started the podcast. That Dave had stage 4 lung cancer. And shortly after that, we did that last film that Brian and I had talked about. The one with the pizza delivery. And some dude killing pizza delivery people. And remember, Dave was not in the best of shape for that shoot. Doing something that's frankly illegal still in this state, and that is he was using medical marijuana to help with his symptoms and everything. And the last time I ever saw Dave was the screening of that specific film about a month later, and a month after that in May he was in hospice, and next thing we knew he was gone. And he was the first of at least two people I know in some form of mentorship role for me who have had lung cancer. The second one, fortunately, still alive, and actually turned me on to fundraising for this cause through those cancer walks, and that is Steve Shelton, or as I call him, Coach Shelton. He was my football coach at West both years I played. He didn't start coaching at West until my junior year there, and that's when I started playing because I wanted to give football a try, and got a new guy coming in, might as well do my best. This is the best opportunity for me. Well, lots of pluses and minuses to come out of football, but one story in particular. I'm sorry, I'm backtracking a little bit, talking about history, but this, I think, illustrates what kind of a leader Coach Shelton is, and certainly was. So, senior year, the day we are playing Olathe East High School. This was the game of the infamous non-catch that I mentioned to Luke and Dan the first time they were on, which was caught on video, and no, I will not be sharing that video ever. But everyone on the team knows what happened. It was fourth quarter. Travis Brown was in it. QB. I ran the routes, and Travis overthrew me, and on the video you could clearly see me falling face first into the ground, trying for the catch. So, bit embarrassing. What a lot of people don't know about that game was at halftime, I was ready to quit. And it's ready to quit because of the ongoing bullying and abuse from certain teammates. Not all, but certain teammates. Culminated, we did not have school that particular day, but Coach insisted that we go to the movie theater that day and see, I think it's the second Mighty Ducks movie that we went to see. And there was some tormenting going on there as well, and not cool. And it carried with me throughout the day, and at halftime, I had simply had enough. Took off the pads, took off the helmet, and said, "Coach, I'm done." And Coach said, put the pads and the helmet back on, we'll get you in. And so he did. So now you know some backstory about what happened with that particular throw. And I tell that because that illustrates to me what kind of a leader Steve Shelton is and was. About the same time that Dave passed, I noticed that Coach had gotten into lung cancer research as well, and have been promoting the lung cancer walk through the Lung Cancer Research Foundation. And the reason for that, of course, is he himself was diagnosed with lung cancer. Fortunately, Coach still with us. Yeah, has done a good job of fighting the cancer from the best I can tell. We did the initial cancer walk in 2019. That was all good, lots of people there. And then this whole pandemic nonsense starts, and we do 2 years in a row. You have to go to the park solo to walk. But still, you're still raising money for lung cancer research. But they resumed this past year, 2022. And I remember going in. While I was checking in, I was asked, well, are you walking because you support it, or are you walking because you know someone who lost lung cancer, or someone who's suffering through now, or are you suffering yourself? Among the sufferers is just Coach and one other older lady who told the story of her diagnosis, and it was beautiful stuff. It was in Spanish, but still very beautiful. When I checked in. Yeah, I know someone who died of lung cancer. Had Dave's name written on the sign that how runners pin numbers to them. That's kind of what this was. Is basically a blank piece of paper that you pin to your shirts, and I wrote Dave's name on there in his memory. I'm walking in Dave's memory. And after the walk, Coach came up to me and asked me about Dave. I told him everything. That he was one of my film friends, a film mentor of mine, and as you can clearly hear from the podcast, if you've been listening to the podcast, he's influenced a lot of people in the film community. So, but still, it's a good cause. It's a good walk. So when these things are actually organized, they go out to Heritage Park in South Olathe, and we just walk once around half the park, around the lake there, and just move on back. It's about a couple miles walk. And the 2 years that we had to do it solo, I did it at Antioch Park over here in Merriam, just down the street from me. And that park is tiny compared to Heritage Park. You could basically walk the entire perimeter of the park and get the 2 miles in. So it is definitely a good cause to support, and I'm going to give you the address for the Lung Cancer Research Foundation is www.lungcancerresearchfoundation.org. Look for their cancer walks whenever they come up. If you are following our podcast or me on Facebook, I will post the links so you can donate. Every little bit is going to help. And I can also tell you from the last walk that we did just a couple months ago, they brought a trailer with them, and in it they show all sorts of cool stuff that they're able to do with the research money to help with surgeries and treatment and all that. And a lot of it is based on video game controllers. So for any video gamers out there, you might have a future in cancer medicine. But I do want to take a couple minutes before closing this episode to go over some myths and facts about the risks of lung cancer. And I also want to talk about lung cancer stigma. Alright. So, myth. It's too late if you've smoked for years. Fact. Quitting has almost immediate benefits. Your circulation will improve and your lungs will work better. Your lung cancer risk will start to drop over time. 10 years after you kick the habit, your risk of dying from lung cancer drops by 50% compared to people who continue to smoke. Certainly in Dave's case, that's relevant because Dave was very much a smoker. And for anyone who is a smoker, now is a good time to quit. I understand it's going to be hard, but now's a good time to quit. You'll thank me later. Myth. Low tar or light cigarettes are safer than regular. Fact. They're just as risky. And beware of menthol. Some research suggests that menthol cigarettes may be more dangerous and harder to quit. Their cooling sensation prompts some people to inhale more deeply. Myth. It's okay to smoke pot. Fact. Marijuana smoking may raise your lung cancer risk. Many people who use pot also smoke cigarettes. Some research shows that people who do both can be even more likely to get lung cancer. Now, I'm sitting in a state where medical marijuana is still very much illegal. Laura Kelly, please get that taken care of. At the same time, there are ways to use marijuana without smoking, and that will probably be something I'll look into for myself. I will be asking my doctor the next time I come about medical marijuana as soon as it becomes legal. So let's get our act together, Topeka. In the meantime, Missouri just voted to fully legalize. They won't be able to start selling until February, by which date this episode will probably already be out. But it's something I'll look into for myself to see if it helps with blood pressure, and to get me to chill out maybe just a little bit more. Myth number 4. Antioxidant supplements protect you. Fact. When researchers tested these products, they unexpectedly found a higher risk of lung cancer among smokers who took beta-carotene. Talk to your doctor first. It's okay to get antioxidants from fruits and vegetables. I just saw said doctor about a week ago, and he said the same thing for my issues. Eat more fruits and vegetables. 5. Myth. Pipes and cigars aren't a problem. Fact. Just like cigarettes, they'll put you at risk for cancers of the mouth, throat, esophagus, and lungs. Cigar smoking in particular makes you much more likely to get heart disease and lung disease. Okay, I've smoked a couple of cigars in my time. That's certainly not right now. In fact, when I was fired from Silpada, one of the only things I left in that locker was a couple cigars. Alright. Number 6, myth, smoking is the only risk. Fact, it's the biggest one, but there are others. The number 2 cause of lung cancer is an odorless radioactive gas called radon. Given off by rock and soil, it can seep up into homes and other buildings. You can test your house or office for it. Call your state or county health department for information. I don't think Coach ever smoked. So there, you don't have to be a smoker to get lung cancer. Myth number 7, talcum powder is a cause. Fact, research shows no clear link between lung cancer and accidentally breathing in talcum powder. People who work with other chemicals, including asbestos and vinyl chloride, are more likely to get the disease. Number 8, if you have lung cancer, smoke quitting is pointless. Fact, if you stop, your treatment may work better and your side effects could be milder. If you need surgery, ex-smokers tend to heal better than smokers. If you need radiation for cancer of the larynx, you're less likely to become hoarse if you don't light up. And in some cases, quitting makes a second cancer less likely to start. Myth number 9, exercise doesn't affect your risk. Fact, people who get regular physical activity may be less likely to get lung cancer, surveys show. Working out also helps your lungs work better and helps prevent heart disease, strokes, and many other serious conditions. The doctor says I need more exercise too, and I'm trying. He said just 2.5 hours a week is minimum, is what I need. But it's not easy. Again, football, my knee makes it hard, especially in cold weather like it is today, the day I'm recording this. Number 10, we know climate change is a problem, and air pollution, in particular carbon pollution, is a big cause of that. But myth number 10 is air pollution isn't a cause for lung cancer. That's, fact. Tobacco is by far the biggest threat, but air pollution is a risk factor too. People who live in areas with a lot of it are more likely to get lung cancer than those who live where the air is cleaner. Many U.S. cities have cut down on air pollution in recent years, but there's still dangerous levels in other parts of the world. And I'm just going to read the article written by. The article is in town, and you can find this on WebMD. By the way, what is lung cancer stigma? Written by Kendall K. Morgan, medically reviewed by Manish Khatri, MD, on July 25th, 2022. A diagnosis of cancer is hard enough, but if you have lung cancer, you're also likely to face lung cancer stigma. Stigma refers to disapproval or discrimination that's based on your diagnosis. The main reason for the stigma surrounding lung cancer is that the disease often, but not always, is related to a person's smoking history. More than 80% of lung cancers happen in people who smoke or smoked in the past. But that means about 20% happen to people who've never smoked. Whether you have a history of smoking or not, you're not responsible for your cancer and you don't deserve it. But lung cancer stigma also is complicated. Even when others around you don't blame you for your cancer, you may still feel it. One study found 95% of people with lung cancer face stigma. Stigma has even affected research funding. Lung cancer gets much less research funding than other common cancers. A closer look at the stigma. Lung cancer stigma has different layers. It includes the stigma you feel coming from other people. You also may internalize the stigma. Internalized stigma may make you feel shame, guilt, self-blame. The stigma you feel from others and in your own mind also make it harder to talk about your lung cancer. The stigma adds to the burden of having lung cancer. The effects of lung cancer stigma are also very real. More lung cancer stigma has been tied to higher anxiety, depression, or depressive symptoms, physical symptoms, worse quality of life. And what if I never smoked? Well, we talked a little bit about that. How would lung cancer stigma affect me? Stigma can make it harder for you to tell your doctor about symptoms that may be a sign of lung cancer. As a result, you may find out only later when it's harder to treat. You may feel as though even your doctors blame you. Lung cancer stigma may affect the treatment you receive. You may blame yourself. You may feel guilty, anxious, depressed, or angry. How can I cope? Get informed about lung cancer and treatment options. Talk to people about your diagnosis and about the fact that lung cancer can happen to anyone. Join a support group or find ways to connect with others who've been through it. Let people know about how lung cancer stigma is affecting you. Remember that no matter what, you do not deserve cancer. It is not your fault. Also remember, it also may help to remember that lung cancer has many causes. People who never smoked still can get lung cancer. Smoking is an addiction that many people pick up from a young age. Quitting is hard. Efforts to get more people to quit smoking are meant to help people stay healthy. They aren't meant to blame anyone when they get sick. Everyone with cancer deserves love, care, and support. How can my friends and family help? If someone tells you they have lung cancer, don't ask them questions about their smoking history. Offer your respect, hope, and support. Treat your friends and family members with lung cancer the way you did before they found out they had cancer. Let them know you're there if they want to talk. If they don't want to talk about lung cancer, let them know you're there to talk about anything else. And don't avoid your friends or family members. So, in conclusion, lung cancer research funding is very important, and I'll continue to do it for as long as I'm able to. I'll continue to participate in the cancer walks as well. One, because they're fun. Two, because it goes to a really good cause to treat a disease that has taken the life of a mentor and affects another. So please check out the Lung Cancer Research Foundation, lungcancerresearchfoundation.org. Keep an eye on our Facebook, either my personal Facebook or the podcast Facebook, for information on upcoming cancer walks. And please donate $1, $10, whatever you can afford. Please donate to this cause. with all that out of the way, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
This podcast is Uncalled For is hosted, produced and edited by Mike Chernevsky. Opening music is I Thought You Were Cool by Holy Isna CC0, licensed under a Creative Commons 0.1.0 Universal License. The outro music for this episode is Ocean Ending by Soft and Furious, licensed under a Creative Commons CC 0.1.0 Universal License. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast through your favorite podcasting platform, like our Facebook page at facebook.com/uncalledforpodcast, and check out our blog with show notes at uncalledfor.home.blog. If you are in the United States or Canada, you can call us at 816-832-5160. Leave your message or question for us, and if we like it, we will play it on the podcast. Please support the podcast and purchase our exclusive Uncalled For merchandise. T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and so much more. Go to www.cafepress.com/uncalledforpod. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time.